The Pittsburgh Steelers were more of the same of what we expect during the season, right? And then we get to the offseason, it was like, buckle up, strap on. It's a freaking nutty ride. And I know what I said.
We're like 3 seconds in.
And you know what? I wouldn't rather. There's no one else on the planet that I want to sit down and talk Steelers with. And you might be like, what? Alex and Broshmo, we're talking draft? No, today we're talking the Pittsburgh Steelers. Alex, go ahead and let the fine people know where to find you.
I do a lot of draft content, also very similar to this show. You can find it over at Hail Mary Sports over on Twitter as well as YouTube. Glad to be here. I am a Steelers fan, which is the only reason why he brought me on.
What can I say? But I know you know ball, and that's why I brought you on. I've started these out with asking the guest, hey, if you could sum up whether it be the Steelers season, their offseason, or just the general vibes of this squad right now, if you could put that in a sentence, a word, maybe even a syllable, what would that be?
Failing to let go.
Sounds like a psalm.
Yeah, there's a meme of this backpack that's like a Gucci backpack, and it's like holding on like one of the straps by just a thread, and it just says, just let it go, bro. It's done. I feel like that's just the Steelers. We're just trying to hold on to that little string and keep it attached as long as possible. But I mean, it's more optimistic than that. But to sum it up,
you know that song by I think it's Jumpsuit Apparatus or something, but it's like, don't step off that ledge, my friend. We can cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. That's kind of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, yeah. I'm a little bit of a younger generation.
You say out of the younger. This was back when I was probably in high school, so no shade. No shade.
Yeah, I mean, I was in elementary school. Wait, I mean, that's when LMFAO was at their biggest.
Oh my gosh, dude! Talk about blast from the past.
I got to meet Red Foo in person. And my buddy and him played tennis while his girlfriend and I were just sitting and just chatting. So that's interesting story.
That's kind of nuts. But yeah, hey, you said blast from the past. Well, we got to look back before we look forward. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and their 2024 season. To be fair, it was more of the same. They end up getting Mike Tomlin that, hey, we don't lose here in Pittsburgh, even if it doesn't feel like we're winning. They go 10-7, but they lose the last, 4 games of the season. And then they go in and seemingly get handled by Baltimore. Box score looks a little bit closer than what it actually was. But what was that season? What was the Russell Westbrook experience?
I was like, are you actually going to say like Russell Westbrook as like forgetting Wilson?
Oh my gosh, I said Westbrook too, huh?
Oh, well, it kind of felt a little bit like that. You get some initial excitement and then it just wears off as time goes on. You're like,
they're in similar parts in their career.
Yeah, it's definitely like the status. But no, I mean, as a Steelers fan, it's actually kind of the antithesis of the Bengals. You always start out relatively red hot because the way that we play football takes so much advantage of teams that are still learning their identity, still getting their gears oiled up, so to speak. Like, we just have that instant impact in that solid defense and the consistency and also that fear factor that ends up giving a lot of momentum early on. And it just, we all kind of know that, similar to when you see your buddy dating a 7 and you know that he wants to go to the 9 or the 10, it's like, we know the end is coming, you know, you know that more than anything with me, but it's just like the end's coming. It's slowing down. We're just enjoying it while it lasts. And that's how it kind of felt. A lot of confusion with the Justin Fields, Russell Wilson thing. It was a little bit disappointing, to be honest, to not let the hot hand continue to roll because some promises were kind of made before all this happened.
Yeah, and I was looking at the EPA per play for this squad last year, and it's kind of what you expect. The defense was really good. Like, the run defense was mid, but pass defense 9th in the NFL. What was their pressure percentage was mid too. So, I mean, I think Alex Highsmith was kind of banged up for much of the year. Even if he was playing, he just wasn't healthy. But
yeah, same thing with TJ, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Offensively, it was kind of a nightmare. The Russian offense was terrible, 24th in the league. Passing offense, 19th in the league. I was looking at Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited, in his analytics. I'm like, oh, wow, he actually looks like he played reasonably well, but you didn't really feel that on the field. Like you had like just some drives peter out. If you actually look at his sack rate, it was pretty high. So that wasn't great. Offensive pressure was terrible, 29th in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're talking about injuries like Troy Fatanu. He ended up missing the year with the kneecap.
MCL? Was it kneecap?
I think it was dislocated kneecap, but it was then James Daniels had the Achilles tear. So like the offensive line wasn't necessarily healthy. Broderick Jones. Just think that could have been Christian Gonzalez.
You didn't need to say that.
But it needed to be said.
And a 4th round pick, by the way. FYI, because we traded up for that.
Yeah, exactly. Golly, yeah, Patriots. Good move there. Maybe things will pan out this year for that squad. Not saying Christian Gonzalez, amazing. Gonzo, love him, but the rest of that squad, we'll see. I don't know. I already did my Patriots video. We don't need to talk about them any longer, but you always know this team's gonna have a hard schedule. They were 17th, so middle of the pack last year in terms of strength of schedule. But you're facing Baltimore. Cincinnati is always going to be a challenge. Honestly, Cleveland's always going to be a challenge. I know we joke about their quarterback situation, but that's a really good defense for the most part. And I mean, I mentioned that they lost those last 4 games of the year. It was Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City, and then Cincinnati. It's kind of a nightmare stretch.
Yeah, it's what sucks. You're in the AFC North with 2 legitimately Super Bowl competitive teams that get red hot as the season progresses, at least for the Cincinnati side. Like they're always a fast moving freight train by the end, seeing where things will end up going well versus not. So it's tough every year.
Yeah, we don't have to reflect any longer. Let's just go ahead. Let's talk about the offseason as a whole, because golly, I feel like we're going to be talking about this offseason a lot, like for a long time. There's so much going on. At least the coaching staff kind of remain. It's intact. Arthur Smith, you're going to get another year of him. But let's go over the loss snaps, and I want to start with the defense because there's a lot with the offense. But you have the cornerback room is basically, it kind of got gutted somewhat. Dante Jackson, which we knew he was there for just a cup of coffee. He's gone. He had like 800 snaps last season. Kazi is, I don't know where he went, but
I actually ended up just talking about him too. Shoot, keep going.
Regardless, you had some old heads like Ogajobi, Landon Roberts. They're gone, and then the big one, which was a few weeks ago, the trade for Jalen Ramsey, but you also trade Mika Fitzpatrick.
Right.
So
that's Megan. Also, Casey's on the Browns.
Oh, okay, that makes sense because Juan Thornhill is. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. But so Mika, let's talk about the trade. We haven't got a chance to talk about the trade.
I know. It's been a minute.
Yeah, and it involves my Dolphins. Fins up, baby. Fins up.
I know. I mean, the thing is, my initial gut reaction was no. But it's true. Minka's dropped off a cliff compared to public perception. It is one of those guys that's a little bit more of a name brand than anything. It sucks because when you lose someone who, even if the talent is not there at the same rate that it was, still a core piece of the defense. Chemistry matters in the NFL, especially in a secondary. He would have been one of the guys who would have kind of conducted the ship a little bit in the secondary there. So I personally didn't like that aspect. But when you do think about Jalen Ramsey, the contract that he's on is not ideal, but not horrible. We need someone long-term. Darius Slay, going to be pretty much a one-year patch, in my opinion. And that's a good thing to have. You did need to have some form of continuity at that cornerback position for the long haul. And then some people even fantasize about the idea of Jalen moving to safety one day. So you got someone who is extremely talented, who has gone through the ebbs and flows of being like number one corner. And then some people are doubting his abilities. But through it all, really damn good player. And it sucks to have seen Steelers just not have a legitimately competitive secondary and patch it. And now we actually have that talent. So it's a good move. It's a good move, especially when you get Jonnu as well. Arthur is appeased. So I'm like, all right. We're keeping people happy. I think that you can confirm or deny this on your end. I heard that it was essentially supposed to be just a straight up trade at Jalen for Minka. And then the extra pick was Jonnu. And there were essentially two separate trades that they just bundled together and made it just one.
I think it was a pick swap and with Jonnu involved. And then it was like a 1-for-1 Minka for Ramsey. But then I guess they kind of packaged it all together. I don't know. Kind of irrelevant regardless. But I thought the Steelers came out with the better end of that than the Dolphins. It straight up feels like we just wanted to get off Ramsey's contract, which we're still paying, I think, a portion of it anyway. Yeah. And then we bring back, like, it's a homecoming for Mika. Like you've said, he's not that elite guy anymore, or at least hasn't been the last 2 years. But he's a contract we could get off of after next season, which kind of sucks that, okay, we traded Ramsey for a guy that seemingly we're probably just going to get off the contract of. It kind of feels like we're blowing stuff up. Sure. Like if this season doesn't go well, we're blowing it up. Front office gone. Tua's probably going to be like the last guy standing there, which sucks.
It's kind of.
I mean, it doesn't suck, but I mean, like Tua's just kind of an enigma, I think, when it comes to the quarterback. Like, you know what he can be. You kind of hope that he's just there. Then Waddle, of course, we had the extension, so he's going to be a part of the future as well. But I think the Steelers kind of came on the plus end of that, because like Ramsey, I forgot where I saw this, but apparently I think it's like the last 5 or 6 years he hasn't been a part of a defense that's been in the bottom half of the league in terms of just production EPA. Right. So that bodes well for the Steelers to remain kind of a dominant force. But we could jump to the offensive losses, so to speak, because Mr. Unlimited is now going to be with the New York Giants trying to save jobs there. You got Justin Fields also in New York. Yep. He's going to be part of a kind of a mini rebuild with the Jets.
Yeah, they're in a bad spot.
Yeah,
they're in a good spot for the long haul. Just for this year, it's going to be a little bit rough.
Yeah. If anything, the Giants are kind of like it. That's a sucky situation. It just sucks
with their schedule too.
Yeah, right. James Daniels is now a Dolphin. Fins up. That was literally the one off-season signing I wanted. He's a perfect fit for the system if he could stay healthy.
Yep.
And then Dan Moore, dude. This dude goes out and gets paid.
Oh, my Lord.
God.
I'm so happy we didn't pay him.
That was, well, I mean, you really didn't need to. You don't know what you got in Fatu, and you're still hoping and praying with Jones. So
yeah.
But Mike Williams, he ends up going to the Chargers, then retires.
On the first day.
Yeah, right. Van Jefferson, somewhere in the league. Is he with the Titans?
Yes.
Okay. And then I guess George Pickens. That's probably the best name. I would say the best name.
Yeah.
There that is now, he was traded. What did you get back? Was it
third?
A third? Okay. And that's in next year's draft. Okay. That's quality. That's good. That's good. That was good because I didn't know how like Pickens and DK were going to survive on this squad.
Right. Was it a 2020? I think it was 2026 third.
Yeah, because y'all certainly did not have another third in this draft.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm so used to talking about this draft as in the one that we're studying right now to where I'm like, I don't think it was 2027. Next is literally in 2 years for us. But yeah, I mean, losing George certainly sucked, even though a lot of redundancy. I mean, redundancy is okay given you don't have anything else that will balance it out in the first place. But we had a really good track record getting rid of individuals that have some personality question marks at the right time. So as someone who lives in Dallas as well, I'm happy I get to see him in person, but it's just, I tend to lean to trust how our organization evaluates whether a talent is at least one that has those questions is worth keeping around or not. So it sucked again initially because I'm one of those guys who doesn't like to let players, at least with a name or something of actual talent brand go, especially because I think George has the potential to be a true one in the NFL and like truly shine as a one. There's also rumors that he forced himself out of the building. Don't know about how that exactly went, but if he didn't want to be there, there's already enough personality question marks we've dealt with in the past. Sometimes you just got to let someone go.
Yeah, I feel like the minute DK arrived, it was like that Spider-Man meme, right? Just it was like there could only be one.
I know. I just wanted to see the fights on the field, man. It's like it would have been AFC brawls again, like AFC North brawls. I love that stuff. I love it.
Dude, AFC South underrated. Like when it comes to their brawl game, because like Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan used to always get into it.
No, that was so fun. I mean, give it credit to the South in general. NFC South when what was it? I know OBJ, obviously they're from the East, but OBJ and then who was that corner? I'm forgetting. Norman?
Josh Norman.
Josh Norman. Love that brawl. That was a crazy day too. I still remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah, and then you got like Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore.
Amazing. Give it to the South, man. They got some good brawls. They give the North
low-key, I guess they do get after it. Okay.
They just do not like each other. I'm like, all right, respect.
So let's go through the additions. I want to start out with what is your favorite addition?
Yeah.
And then we'll get into some of the others.
So my favorite addition, I thought we did a lot of really, really good acquisitions this year. Even though, again, I'm saying it's like, let it go. We're still doing a good job at least keeping ourselves semi-competent, right? Like people are still saying, oh, we'll be 9-8, 10-7. At the very minimum, that is hard to maintain in the NFL. So I'll preface it with that. It was much shit as we like to give the Steelers for, not saying, hey, let's blow it up, rebuild, and then be a Super Bowl competitor. They do a damn good job at remaining above ground or above water. So my favorite one probably would be the DK Metcalf move. So I know it's very unpopular, but for me, when I end up seeing DK get signed for that extension, first off, everyone's like, oh, look at that contract. In 3 years, it's going to be a cheap contract. For a one, especially since we don't have anything else essentially that is remotely worth that type of money in the receiving room, I like that. It was a decisive move. It was a long-term move. It wasn't something that's just, we're going to patch it for this year and try to make it go. Like that was something that DK is going to be a core piece of our team. I loved seeing that. So to me, that was definitely my favorite because it was a second round pick. It happens. But at the same time, I also, based on the fact that we didn't really draft wide receivers, I don't really believe that we would have been the type to actually get the receiver that we needed. Jack Besh would have been nice though. But did you ask for my least favorite as well, or are you just going for the favorite?
Well, I started with the favorite, and I mean, to be fair, I think with DK, because some people thought maybe he goes for a first, but it's like I don't feel like we've seen that DK in a long time. Yeah. So I thought the second was about right. The contract, that's probably another thing. But
it's hefty. But we are betting on him, and think about it this way. And this is something we'll talk about the TJ contract, obviously, in a little bit, but you have to accept the reality of the NFL we live in. Players are going to get overpaid for the moment. You have to look at how it will feel in the middle of the contract. And you're paying DK expecting him to be a one. Sometimes you have to show that you value someone to be a role maybe they aren't ready for them to reach and be in that role. So I think the expectation set, DK doesn't seem like someone who'll just grab the money and leave. So I like the fact that we're saying, this is what we expect of you. This is how much we value you. Go live up to it. Because we don't really do that often. So it's good to see that. It's good to see a little bit of like, let's push our chips. Like, even if it doesn't work out, we showed the willingness to do it. Damn, Gojo.
Dude, Gojo.
Gojo's about to like let in. It's like, yeah, you guys should have done that with Juju Smith-Schuster. Damn.
All right.
Chiefs, man.
So you brought up least favorite. What is your least favorite?
Oh, okay, so Least favorite. I could have talked about Jonnu Smith in there just because of the quantity of tight ends, but I want to do something a little bit less low-hanging fruit because Jonnu's still coming off a top-end year, and he's going to literally the one guy who loves him more than probably his own children. I mean, in retrospect, Darius Slay might be, because I'm talking about big additions. I don't want to go for like a second or a third level guy. I would say with Jalen Ramsey on the team, Darius Slay, because now we're putting ourselves in a position where, you got Joey, Jalen, and also Darius on the field at the same time. Might have like a $20+ million nickel. To me, it does seem like we're over-investing in at least one of those positions. But I do like how we handled the offseason. It did keep us semi-competitive, and it filled needs with proper value. It's a good spot to be in for a team that is in the situation we're in.
Okay, so then let's specifically. Let's talk about the horse in the room.
Aaron.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call him an elephant because I still think he could be that Clydesdale, right? Because it's not like the play has fallen off. Okay, well, it's fallen off, but it's not like he's like washed. I think what we saw with the Jets was like they moved the football.
Sure.
But once they got in scoring position, it was like, okay, they froze up. And you are it's an upgrade over Russell Wilson, Absolutely. Mr. Unlimited, who's semi-limited at this point.
Yeah, very much limited at this point.
Yeah, but like Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be so fascinating with this offense.
Yeah.
And I mean, notoriously doesn't like to throw to rookie wide receivers. No real rookie wide receivers, unless you want to say like Roman Wilson, redshirt his rookie year. But it's DK, it's Jonnu Smith, it's Pat Freiermuth, it's a lot of established guys. Robert Woods is in the building. So... Woo. Yeah, right. So, like, what does this do for this offense? Because, like, doesn't this also feel like not an Arthur Smith type of quarterback?
I would almost push back on that.
Really?
Yes. So, where Aaron is in his career currently, I think matches Arthur Smith's vision far more. If we're talking about prime Aaron, of course not. If I'm talking about the vision I have for Aaron Rodgers and what I do believe that Arthur Smith can use him as, I think right back to Ryan Tannehill. And you think about essentially Tannehill with a more lively arm and a better processor. Ryan Tannehill kicked ass. And I mean,
I for a minute thought Tannehill with Tennessee was like, oh my gosh, is he like a consistent top 12 quarterback now? Right. No, just fooled. And as a Dolphins fan, I was like proud, but at the same time, wow, we drafted that guy. What the hell happened?
Right. Exactly. So that's the thing. Like, I believe that based on the fact you do not need him to be remotely as mobile as maybe you'd want, but due to the composition of our team, it's a pretty clear vision for what Aaron Rodgers will be asked to do. We have a heavily loaded tight end room. We have a young offensive line that, my opinion, even though we have some good pieces, still very much is not built for the necessarily long, high-skilled, very high-level developing plays. You're going to ask Aaron to be a distributor and then someone who could end up taking advantage of those long shots, which with DK's speed, Calvin Austin's speed, I really like the vision for what Aaron's going to be asked to do, because if you have him, unless they abandon this and they start having more complex route trees and stuff that I don't think our receivers are ready to handle, Aaron's going to be taking less contact. It's going to be a much more simple game plan. And it's going to be something that, especially with Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, all of them have their unique skill sets. So it is not going to be essentially, we're using our tight ends because our receivers aren't good. It's going to be, we know how to utilize our weapons properly. They're just very heavily hoarded into basically DK Metcalf and then the tight end room. And based on where Aaron Rodgers is in his career, the questions over his health, the question over the offensive line, this is the system that can end up making that work. So,
man, I mean,
that's my thoughts on Aaron.
So as you were talking, I was like, I went on a journey.
Okay. It's a Mordor.
Yes, it kind of felt like it. Because I was like, you know what? How similar were, in terms of production, was Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers last year? So I was looking at, on target throw, Aaron Rodgers was 16th, Russell Wilson 17th. When it came to bad throw percentage, Russell Wilson 18th, Aaron Rodgers 21st. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, those line up, but maybe that doesn't tell the whole story. Let's go take a gander. They can't possibly be this close apart, right? And like, I was looking at average depth of target. Aaron Rodgers was near bottom of the league. Russell Wilson was upper bottom of the league.
Same tier, just different parts of it.
Yeah. Holy crap. There's a lot more similarities to, again, this is in terms of production than I was expecting. Think about the Jets
receiving core too. How similar is it in terms of top weighted with a number one receiver like Wilson? And then you think about like Lazard.
Yeah, Aaron's best friend.
Right. Well, you're talking about like a veteran that doesn't necessarily have the skill set to run the position that, they're kind of gifted. That feels very similar to DK and Robert Woods / Calvin Austin, etc. So it's just a very similar situation, but we have better tight ends. And I think a coach that can utilize said tight ends better.
Yeah. It's not hacking back there. But I mean, people make the joke of like the OC or the play caller doesn't really matter because it's Aaron Rodgers. So I mean, we'll see. I don't know if Mike Tomlin lets that fly, but
that's the thing. Aaron seems to have a lot of respect for Mike, really likes Mike. He would not have chosen the Steelers if he didn't want to. And on top of that, I think having, first off, the Achilles, and then second off, a relatively down year, if you're going to humble somebody, that's the way to do it. Show that you are mortal and show that you are not number one in the NFL anymore. And this is probably the best opportunity for Aaron to be a contributor or a collaborator rather than just solely the head honcho.
That might be good for Will Howard, which we'll get to the draft in a sec. But
yes, because I want to go off on a Will Howard tangent. I'm like, I'm going to hold it.
Oh, no.
Hold it.
I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. So I want to go over some of the real quick, the more minor additions. We kind of hit up on Darius Slay. Yep. Which, I mean, I guess seemingly he's outside. Ramsey will kind of flirt with slot and safety, probably.
I assume so. Because we do have two young nickel backs as well that I have a lot of faith in. So I just assume it's going to be a very fluid situation for Jalen to have the full thing.
Yeah, exactly. He's too good to keep off the field, so he's playing somewhere.
Yeah, he's going to be somewhere.
Yeah. Juan Thornhill, I think, still has it if he can stay healthy. I think he could, and by has it, I mean he could be a quality average starter, like your typical Xavier Woods type. You also brought in Kenneth Gainwell to be a part of that backfield. That didn't really excite me too much. And then we'll talk about what they did in the draft.
Yep. Trace Sermon too.
Yeah. And then Mason Rudolph, he's back with the squad as the backup. So fascinating. But let's talk draft. We're the draft guys, right? We're the draft bros.
The draft bros.
Let's talk what they did in the draft, because it was very Steeler to start out the draft.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Derek Harmon off the bat. I mean, I wasn't the biggest guy in Derek Harmon. A lot of other people were higher. Yeah, I mean, we all liked Harmon. I liked Harmon at Michigan State. So
yeah, I think he was more of a complete player at Michigan State, and then he goes to Oregon. He's like, all right, well, if I want to increase my draft stock, I got to rush the passer. And it was just that at Oregon.
Yeah. No, I mean, especially again, obviously tragedy happened. His mom passed away that night. At least got to hear the fact that he ended up being drafted. So, probably the best, worst way to go. And just being able to have someone who, like, first off, now he has even more of a chip on his shoulder. I'm not saying it's an asset, but I'm just saying the situation he's in, like, it's hard to think that he's going to fail. You're in a great situation. You have Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton. You just have players around you that are genuinely going to be amazing for your development, and we have a good track record of developing defensive interiors, and he has really good measurables, it was something where I had that initial reaction be like, and I just continued warming up to it to where I ended up loving it.
Yeah, I think he feels very Stephon Tuitt.
Yes. Yeah. And I hated when he ended up retiring.
Yeah. I forgot what it was
God.
but it was like injury related.
Yeah, it broke my heart, man. I love Stephon Tuitt. So we can get that out of him. I'm all down for it.
Yeah. So I thought it was quality. I'm glad you brought up the whole situation with his mother, because I mean that's very moving.
Of course.
Yeah, and it is a sucky situation to be in. And again, kind of look at light at the end of the tunnel that she was able to see her son get drafted. Again, a little bit of like goodness in a terrible situation is real nice. Right. But Harmon, I liked a ton. And it was weird. He kind of got lost in that. I think a lot of the defensive interiors kind of got lost in that shuffle. Like we couldn't really pinpoint exactly where, but we knew they were really good. Like Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon. And then even like as we got closer to the draft, Mason Graham started to be like, is he even top 10? And I was like, is he even top 10?
Right.
But, yeah. I mean, again, that's a tale for another video. But
we'll have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, right. So with you obviously used the second round pick on DK Metcalf, and I think that's well worth it. Again, contract's another thing, but we'll see. And then you get a running back in Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, who wouldn't be the last Iowa player drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I guess they love that black and gold, or I guess yellow.
It looks good on them. They're like, can we see these guys in a Steelers uniform? The answer is we already did. Now, Caleb Johnson, I wasn't the biggest guy in Caleb Johnson. Everybody else was higher than me, and I still love this pick. And the reasoning why is he was a unicorn, and I think you'll agree with this. Not many times do you see someone who is young, has a ton of tread on their tires, but has shown a full season of being the number one bell cow back. Like he proved that he could carry a massive workload without having a ton of touches beforehand. And he is built to complement someone like Jaylen Warren extremely well. And he was no Najee. I wish Najee were better. He still is like 1,000 yards pretty much per year. So shout out to Najee. No disrespect to Najee. We love him. But
stay away from the fireworks, Najee.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, Caleb Johnson, young, made to work with what we have, looks good in black and gold. And he has proven to where if he is in need to be someone who can carry 20 carries a game, he's shown that he is able to do that. So I liked it. Not the best athlete in the world, but makes it work.
He definitely looks faster on film. Yes. Like when he's given that breakaway. Yeah.
And that's good to have, especially with a team like especially in Arthur Smith's system. You think about the fact that Derrick Henry is not necessarily the most nimble player on planet Earth. You get him in a straight line, my Lord. And that's obviously we're not making the comp, but
yeah, I mean, a lot of that comes down to vision. Cause like Derrick Henry, that's the thing, dude. Like he great vision and no nonsense. He won't overstay his welcome in the backfield, which you would look at that body type, be like, oh, that's not really a big outside zone guy, but he made it work. You go to Iowa, very outside zone heavy. Caleb Johnson made it work, had a phenomenal year. So yeah, I actually like that pick quite a bit, and it in theory should take a lot of pressure off of Aaron Rodgers, and we'll see. Let me take a quick look, because the Steelers last year, not great when it came to the offensive line, yards before contact, 25th. Kind of hoping that might be better. We'll talk more offensive line when we get to the actual roster. Yeah. But
I mean, I will say this though. We had 2 rookies on that offensive line. They're still growing.
That didn't include your first round pick.
Correct. Yes. That didn't even include that. Like we had a 4th round pick and a 2nd. The second round did well, but like you're talking about someone who was never supposed to start being vaulted into that situation. There's some room for error.
Yeah. I think Mason McCormick is though really good. I had him in my top 50.
Yeah. He's done much better than I ever expected, which is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. I'm really, really excited for year 2 with him. So,
oh yeah, he's Mason McCormick is the primary reason why I shifted solely to all 22 grades, because the tape that was out there on him was like, standard game footage, and I just didn't get a good enough read. So I'm like, no, quality control. I'd rather just say I don't know the player well enough, and then, rather than just base my opinion on something that doesn't give a good picture.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Shout out to Mason McCormick.
South Dakota, man, they push out guys. They do. I think on a side note, wasn't currently Iowa's the tackle was I think it was like Garrett Green or something. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Greenfield. Yeah. I think he ended up being at UDFA. I don't know where he's at right now.
Yeah.
But currently Iowa's starting quarterback, I think, was Mark Glanowski or something. Isn't he was South Dakota State too, right?
Yeah. Man, I mean, who cares about Iowa QBs? But I mean, at least they're trying.
Iowa does. Are you kidding? That's been a hellhole for Iowa. It's literally the reason they're not a consistent top 15 team.
Right.
It's because their quarterbacks suck.
I know. I genuinely don't know what they're doing wrong, because they always develop offensive line talent in some way, shape, or form, whether it's NFL top quality or not. It's good college quality. They always have a good run game for the most part. They know how to develop, actual power in the ground game. And then they have some sneaky athletes, the great tight ends. I mean, forgot to mention that. And then they have a great defense. How's that not a quarterback's heaven? They haven't produced them recently. Yeah, because they haven't had anybody recently, bud. You could be the savior.
I will say, if it doesn't work out at quarterback this year for Iowa, it's something with the coaching staff, the play calling, because that cat's a good quarterback. Is he? I don't know if he's going to be a crazy draft guy. He might be a
college wise.
Yeah, might be a late, he might be your Graham Mertz, but still.
There's a lot of quarterbacks in this class, to be fair. So it's going to be tougher this year to be a Graham Mertz than any year, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So we could go to day 3. Before I go into okay, so who are some of your favorite day 3 picks? Because they're day 3. I think we need to talk about at least their 4th round picks, because that's still kind of a prime round to get talent that maybe should have been day 2 that slipped to day 3. Right. And I thought they did that with Ty Robinson, which, it's it feels like it's overkill a little bit.
Robinson is, he's on the Eagles.
Did I say Ty? Oh, my bad. Why do I have him here?
Yeah, because you said 4th round picks. I'm like, I have 1 4th round pick.
Oh, Jack Sawyer. Sorry. I mixed up my white guys.
I was about to say, I'm like, we're pretty close, but no cigar on that one.
Yeah, no cigar. I don't know. Pennsylvania. Let's just go over the Pennsylvania draft picks.
Yeah, that'd be a fun conversation.
Golly, that's wild. Well, Jack Sawyer, sorry, my bad. Defensive line, Ohio State. Tell me why he is basically Nick Herbig.
He's not. That was a loaded question.
Are you telling me all these white guys aren't the same?
They're not the same? Well, you gotta look, a big white guy, little white guy. That's how you tell the difference.
Is it a while before this we were talking, or at least I was talking about Eric O'Neal when I went into this film, and I was like, white edge rusher, He was kind of fun. He was fun. I will say
that was me with James Williams, which is, funnily enough, you talk about the difference between the two. But yeah, Jack Sawyer, people were up until maybe the last month talking about him as a 1st round pick. I never was sold on that. I don't know where you were with him. I forget. I think you might have had a day 2 grade on him.
Yeah, because the production was insane. I say insane. It was really good, but you knew that there was going to be some limitations.
Right. And for me, when I saw it happen, it's just the definition of a Steelers pick, redundancy. And he doesn't have the best arm length. When we ended up re-signing TJ and that essentially being almost I assume at that point, if you're going to be dishing out that cash, you knew that you're going to really put pedal to the metal. You're not going to try to shop TJ. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But again, we're talking about day 3 picks. And they ended up seeing someone they probably had a 2nd round grade on, or maybe an early third. And they saw, okay, we have a full round opportunity cost here of we're going to take this player. They're not going to have the production, but injuries happen in the AFC North. That's the biggest thing. We talk about guys being banged up. There's still a legitimate opportunity for Jack Sawyer to get noticeable reps.
I was going to say, we were just talking about how like Watt and Highsmith last year were a little banged up.
Right. And then Herbig's still getting into his own. He's not the largest guy on planet Earth. There's literally a picture of him going a little bit viral with him and TJ Watt, and he looks like, a Mujute for to keep it PG.
Herbig's so smooth though. Like he probably had one of the best like Euro step or rocker step, whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah. He's fluid as hell. But at the same time, when you got the Lightning, now you have a little bit of thunder with some Jack Sawyer there in terms of depth. And I do think we were kind of lacking that for the most part. I mean, I'm looking at our defensive line depth right now at edge. I mean, we have like Logan Lee, DeMarvin Leal.
No, Lee's not
like on the interior. But like those are guys who like have some flexibility in certain nickel packages to be able to on an even front. But you talk about Jeremiah Moon on the edge rushing side of things.
I liked Moon coming out because he was just that tweener type dude.
He was really fun. But we really did lack that true power presence. And I was trying to talk about the power presence with Jack Sawyer. Like, do you want to potentially kick Leal because he dropped some weight back out to edge for some time? And we needed it. And it didn't seem like it at the time. We'll talk about, because I assume we're going to just move on to the 5th round or, because our next 3 picks total.
Yeah, because you do dip into defensive interior once again with not Ty Robinson, but golly, dude, what is it? I just saw like defensive line white guy. I was like, oh yeah, Steelers drafted that dude. Golly,
it happens. And PHI versus PIT, like it's easy.
How do you say Black's first name? Is it Yaha?
It's Waya.
Waya?
Yeah, that's what people told me. It's Waya.
It's not even
I
a
call
W
him Yaya,
in there.
Yeah, I mean Waya makes it even cooler.
That's like with was it PH and like so you're Stefan? No, I'm Steven. What?
Yeah, like
Knife? What the hell are we doing here?
Well, yeah, we both know that names is not technically yours nor mine, nor my thing.
Yeah, I saw you throwing shade on X, bro. Okay.
Yeah. Well, who'd you comment that under? Like Warren Sharp or something like that?
No, it was Lance Zierlein, I think.
Lance Zierlein. I was like, it was gonna be him, Dane Brugler, or Zierlein, but
because he was talking about watching shows or movies with captions, and I was like, yeah, I do that because I have children. And then I made a joke, and then
I had to come
a douchebag.
Yeah, douchebag sports, baby. For those who know, Draft Bros never was supposed to be Draft Bros.
Douchebag sports.
Douchebag sports.
so Waha Black, right?
Waya.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Black. No, Waya. Just this was the number 1 pick I wanted at the time outside of Will Howard. So you guys already know what I'm going to think about Will Howard. First off, Keanu Benton played noticeable nose tackle when he was at Wisconsin. Like the first time I watched him, and he was a 2023 pick. So in the 2021 season, because 2022 season leads in the 2023 draft, 2021 season, he just looked awkward at nose tackle.
Yeah.
Got a lot better as time went on in that 2022 season. And I think you'll agree to that. Like, I think he took a huge step up.
I still don't think it's where I'd want to play him, because I thought when he went to that Senior Bowl, he looked so much better when they were like, hey, kick a little further out and go and get after it. And
that's what that's exactly what I was about to say is I think Derek Harmon, he'll end up being that Stephon Tuitt role. I really want Benton to take over the Cam Hayward role with the vision, because I think Wyatt is good enough to potentially be a starter. Wyatt to be that true nose, because he is built like an absolute brick shit house, man. I mean, he's near 340 and 35-inch arms.
I was gonna say,
like,
and he looks every bit of it, man.
Every bit.
He looks like the mountain from Game of Thrones.
Except a different skin color, of course.
Well, of course, it's the Steelers, so I assume they drafted a white guy, but okay.
Well, yeah, they will draft the white edges, the black interiors. It's how we roll. We are the black and gold with a dash of white. But
gosh,
but no, why is great. Why is great. I ended up boosting his grade noticeably after we saw him in person in Mobile, just because you see, and he utilized his length so much better through the Senior Bowl process, very similar to Benton. I saw him actually develop noticeably when he wasn't in school. It's sometimes like, situationally, maybe they're not put in the right situation. So it's like, okay, you see them in the spot that's right for them, and that's great. And that obviously allows you to see the vision for what they should be. But there are also those players that you can tell, they developed their technique noticeably when they didn't have to. They weren't in school being forced to do it, and they ended up developing. I love players like that. That's something that just that hits home for me. And that's what I saw with him. Like, it's like this guy looks noticeably more polished, noticeably more of a headache for offensive linemen. And in one-on-ones, what the hell is the guy with 31-inch arms going to do? Like, you legitimately are a third of a foot away from being able to touch. Exactly. You got these freaking T-Rex alligator arms. You're like, ugh. And then Yaya is just that, like, it's amazing because it also, again, frees up Benton to go to a position I think he's going to be better at.
Yeah, it's perfect for that, for an odd front.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
All
so
right.
I love it.
So let's hear it. Let's hear it with Will Howard.
The king. I'll say this. Before Aaron Rodgers, I was a lot higher on the pick. And that's because if Aaron Rodgers is going to play this year and, plays it through, plays it healthy, knock on wood, there's essentially no future for Will Howard being a true starter, because drafts in Pittsburgh, we're going to draft in a very high potential class one of these quarterbacks. So the writing's already on the wall for him. But for a 6th-round pick, to get somebody who has a really solid foundation, good athletic traits, a good enough arm, able to make some really good NFL throws, but most importantly, someone who shined brightest when the lights were brightest. In the playoffs, he got to the best capabilities, the best performances were against the biggest teams he needed to do that against. Don't know what the hell happened versus Michigan, but sometimes you need to fall to get back up.
Game, man.
It just happens. It happens. It's literally the AFC North. There's going to be teams that just do not deserve to win, and there will be some scrappy bouts, and then you'll get the win. And it's also probably why we have the records that we do. But it was just, you're getting someone who knows how to rise up when you need him to. He is a very high floor player. To me, he was my QB3. Most people, that wasn't the case. I respect that. I really liked him a lot. And to get him in the 6th round, when we also pretty much have nothing in terms of the pipeline for a legitimate high floor backup, even with him not potentially being a starter, I think it's a great place to be.
Okay. And then we could wrap up with these late day 3 picks.
Yeah.
Because, was it Brunson?
Bruner.
Okay.
Yes, Carson.
Yeah, Carson.
You combine the names. He said Brunson, the Brunson burner.
Dude. Brunson burner, man. What can I say? Chemistry, love it. He was kind of a special teams king. I think he was on Washington, voted 2 times or 2 years in a row as special team player of the year. So
damn.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna be special teamer, but
yeah, I thought that was a good addition. Again, that late in the draft, you're kind of looking for special teamers. Was it Dante Kent?
Mm-hmm.
Central Michigan, right?
Yes.
2 years in a row, he was a guy that I wanted to get to and I never got to.
He was someone who I didn't get to either.
Yeah, so it's his analytics were enough where I had him on my summer watch list 2 years in a row and still didn't get to. So that made me a little bit sad, but I was happy to see him get drafted.
Yeah. I'll say this about Bruner though.
Yeah.
So before we transition, Bruner, first off, his dad is part of our organization, so Nepo pick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Because his dad was a 1st-round tight end or something.
I'm not 100% sure about what is. I just know his dad is in our organization currently, so that's why I was like, I know he was a Nepo pick.
Yeah.
More
hold
than
on. I'm gonna look it up. You talk.
Yeah. Well, something I really liked is I was actually watching Miller Moss versus Washington, and he ended up having a really good interception in that game. I don't know if we were ever going to see that materialize to something where you see him on the field as a linebacker. He is currently listed as a linebacker 3, which, not talking about him as the 3rd best linebacker on the team. We're talking about him as 5th or 6th. And I like Mark Robinson enough to where I would put Mark Robinson above him. But it's just, you saw at least some flashes of him on defense, and then you add the special teams aspect. That was what the vision would be.
So his dad did play tight end at Washington and was a first-round pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1995.
Even more to the point.
I thought I remember doing that because, like, I'll remember things from these guys' backgrounds because I feel like that might be some of the best work I do. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it's what you do noticeably better than me in like every way, shape, or form. I love listening to your background analysis. Like, I'm not doing that as a dig. That's a genuine compliment. I think you do that way better than I do.
All right. So any UDFAs you might have eyes on before we just get to the roster as a whole?
Absolutely. Sebastian Castro.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's another Iowa guy. What am I? Yeah, that's obvious, huh?
Yeah. So Sebastian was someone who I had a day 2 grade on. Not a good athlete in general. Like, this dude looks like he's running in quicksand. I swear to God. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But super smart, very physical. And he's kind of built like a hybrid box safety and nickel. Yeah. And that's really good to have. Right now he's listed per Our Lads as strong safety. Of course, they're not going to like have him be at multiple positions. But I mean, I really do think that if he can continue to learn and develop behind even Jalen Ramsey, get some mentorship there. And then Deshaun Elliott, I mean, talk about someone who's also been really underratedly solid.
Dude, I was so mad when the Dolphins just let him walk and decided to bring in whatever former Buffalo safety bullcrap.
Oh, yeah. Was it Jordan Poyer?
Yeah, it was Poyer, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's Castro, man. I really wanted him on the Steelers, and to have him in a position where we're still looking at potential safety options for the long haul, and then nickel as well should be for, again, the long term, something to look at for having a full-timer. It's a really good place to be. I don't understand. He's old, but he also has 10 1/4 inch hands? Massive mitts. So it's, he
was a playmaker at Iowa too.
He was.
At least going back to the 2023 season.
Yeah.
Talking about former Dolphin bullcrap, Skylar Thompson's on the squad.
Yay.
I think another UDFA that might just stick out a little bit, Rock Taylor.
I was about to bring him up too. Yep.
Okay. Then you talk.
Well, I got to see him in person because he was playing at the Frisco Bowl, and I got to watch them versus West Virginia, not even realizing that I was watching some of my favorite players from this year's and last year's class. But I mean, it's just Rock ended up. So quick little backstory. I'm a huge fan of Dantes Fagan. Shout out to my guy. But he was somebody when I watched Drew Aller play versus West Virginia, he ended up actually baiting him one time. So I ended up connecting with him, and we've actually been able to chat, hang out, which is awesome. But Rock Taylor embarrassed my poor guy. He just sliced and diced him up. And he's your dream wide receiver 6/7. The dream guy to have fringe practice squad. He's physical, he's smart, and he's actually just very underrated as a route runner as well. He's the dream depth guy to have, to where if stuff hits the fan, you end up having somebody who's semi-competent. And that's just a good place for especially us to be.
Yeah, most definitely. So let's just go ahead. Let's get to the roster. Let's talk the good, the bad. Let's start with the offense, the weaknesses, the strengths. We have to start with the offensive line. Because
I was going to skill position to O-line. I like that we're switching it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think
stick to it.
I think there's more optimism maybe with the offensive line because there's a couple of unknowns. Well, there's one unknown, and it's Troy Fatsidou.
Yeah. Go for it.
But he's going back to his
native position.
Yeah, his native. Yeah, no, because he was initially because it was Rosengarten who was the left tackle, right? Over at Washington.
Opposite.
Was it?
Rosengarten's the right tackle. That's why he's playing right tackle now.
Oh, was it last year that Fatu was gonna play left? No, it was always right.
It was always right. For some reason, the Steelers have this fetish for moving left tackles to right. I have no idea why we do it, but I mean, yeah, I mean, look it up. But I mean, I'm like very confident in the fact that Fontenot was a left tackle, because I remember one of the plays on the goal line where it was in an outside zone to the left, and it was just like that was the play where I ended up loving him as a run blocker, and also thought of him as a guard. That will also spoil that. But talking about the offense as a whole, a lot of youth. We are far from the Steelers we used to be in terms of the offensive line. I will say I am not optimistic about Fontenot as a tackle. I thought of him as a potential tweener guard, ended up having the arm length and really good mobility skills to be able to play tackle. We saw right away in the first preseason game versus the Texans versus Danielle Hunter, which you're supposed to lose against Danielle Hunter in your first time playing NFL talent. It's still, you need to be able to play against Danielle Hunter. What is he a right tackle?
He was he was a left tackle at Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. Like Rosen, because I was pretty sure Rosengarten was essentially the blind side.
Yeah.
For Penix.
You forgot Penix was a lefty.
Yeah.
Because I saw you get your arms all crossed. I was like, something happened. Something happened.
I was just starting to put it all together.
Yeah. But like to sum it up on Fontenot, like he had a rough start versus arguably underratedly the best edge core in the NFL with Will Anderson as well as Danielle Hunter. So you're supposed to lose, but it was relatively scary because even if it's in preseason, you still need to show that you can play against those guys, because when Sunday comes up, they're not putting their backups in to play you. So I was genuinely terrified about that, especially since I had those reservations of him as a tackle. I do think, especially since we have Isaac Suamalu coming up on a contract year, I'm happy with Fontenot obviously being able to get experience and start. Part of my gut tells me that might be his spot for the future. Hopefully not. But you're also moving him again to right tackle from where he was at native left off a full year. I think there's going to be some issues there.
Yeah, and if injuries do happen, like Calvin Anderson is that backup, which it's like
Spencer Anderson, but yes,
no, Calvin.
Oh, you're talking about the tackle spot.
Yeah, I'm going back to tackle.
We have two Andersons.
Yeah, it's wild, but
love that.
Because I think there's less questions with the interior, because you kind of know what Smalu is. Frazier's up and coming, looked great last year. Job. Yeah. Mason McCormick, a lot of promise, and already a guy that I love. Question is like Broderick Jones, can you be good? Fontenot, what do you have in him? And those are guys that have gone down with injuries. So that's where I go to like, okay, Calvin Anderson, there's a chance he's starting 3 or 4 games this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is something that bothers me, and I think you'll agree to this. Our backups at tackle do not inspire confidence in case injuries.
They shouldn't.
They're just, we have done a horrible job outside of the interior, even on the interior of the offensive line. Ryan McCollum, I do not want touching the field. Max Sharping, I do not want touching the field.
You know what's funny? I think McCollum's probably one of your better backups too.
I was about to bring that up. I'm like, and he's one of the better guys. I do not want any of our backups touching the field. And looping back to the draft, this is something I forgot to mention. I was pissed that we did not go after an offensive lineman. There were so many opportunities to take a shot on someone like Cam Williams, or talk about Holland Pierce. Dante Kent instead of Holland Pierce. I mean, maybe at that point, Holland Pierce's agent said, let's go to free agency and choose. But just neglecting receiver and offensive line, it's going to bite us in the ass. We are in a very physical division, and none of our backups are good.
So that's more 12 personnel is what I'm hearing with this squad.
I mean, that's if we want to utilize what we have. Absolutely.
I mean, when your wide receiver 2 is Bobby Trees, as
Bobby Trees,
as Brett Coleman would say.
That's funny. I like that nickname.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you brought in Smith. Like, you're paying Freiermuth, right? He already got his extension, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And you bring in Jonnu Smith. Like, to me, it screams like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna see a lot of like Jonnu in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
Which Calvin Austin outside?
I mean, Calvin's taken some reps on the outside. I don't think that we're just not in a position where we have the luxury of putting guys where they should be. How about that?
Dude, you got Scotty Miller on the squad too.
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. I love Scotty.
Yeah.
I love him.
Golly, dude.
It's Koronic. I think you'll agree with this as well. Outside of Roman Wilson, all of our backups should be like one full tier below where they're at. Like Scotty Miller should not be the immediate backup for DK. Ben Skoranek should not be the immediate backup for anybody on planet Earth. And I love Ben Skoranek too. So, I mean, it's saying a lot.
If you think role, like, yeah, Miller's the vertical guy, so.
Oh, I mean, I'm not talking about the role. I'm talking about the talent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I gotcha.
Tier below, like he should be an emergency fill-in. Same thing with Skoranek, should be an emergency fill-in. My opinion, maybe Roman Wilson should be an emergency fill-in. So it's just like, depth is our biggest problem.
Yeah. I don't know. As me and you have kind of like talked this out, I don't know if I have much faith in the offense being much better than it was last year.
Yeah. I mean, it like really depends on like how Smith gets used.
Yeah. I think it might be like, it might be better, but it's not going to be significant.
Yeah. I think we should send a pick for another receiver. Genuinely. We have 2/3. We have a notable amount of draft capital. Just do it.
I mean, you're one of the older teams in the NFL. You need to get younger.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right. Just do it. I mean, the question is who would be a good player? And I think this is good even for this video segment. If you can feel free to deflect it if you want. But what would be a good player to add to the receiving core to be able to make it that's available? That's young enough, talented enough. I know we talk about Terry McLaurin's a big name in the trading market. He's not young, but he's still good.
Amari Cooper.
That's free, right? I mean, that I don't understand what is going on in that realm. He did take a notable drop off. Obviously, if we want to just go, right. I mean, we could always go after Keenan as well, someone who also took a step back last year, Keenan Allen. Like we could totally revolutionize or revamp our receiving core by doing that. And again, it is just a bunch of unks, just kind of like pushing out their final years.
That's kind of what this team is playing for, though.
Exactly. So like get them on 1-year deals, fix your holes with short-term value because we don't have the developmental talent either. But sometimes you just got to work with what you got. So that's why I'm a little bit bothered by it. But we got to do something else. We're not in a good position. I mean, were you going to put Cordell Patterson back at receiver? like shoot, man.
All right. Let's jump to the defense. It's more optimistic.
Talk about Jaylen Warren, bro.
Do you want to?
I like Jaylen.
You know what? Fine. Let's talk Jaylen Warren because you mentioned
Kenny Gainwell as well.
Okay, but like Caleb, I think Warren's just keeping the. I think we're gonna see a split backfield regardless. I think this turns into what we saw last year, with they're gonna ride the hot hand of either Najee or Jaylen, maybe. And people, if you're a fantasy football guy, you're gonna have all this hope for Caleb Johnson, and it's gonna be maybe at best mid RB2 production. Right.
Well, there will be those games where if you know that Warren's banged up or something, you might get better production. But I completely agree with that.
I think like Kenneth Gainwell really muddies the water. It might be. I know. It might be like. What the hell? Yeah, it's like low key like. Okay, if someone goes down, like Gainwell's a guy that can he's good.
Yeah, right. He's seasoned as well in very big moments. Like that, I think Kenneth Gainwell was a signing that ended up just being mitigation in case, because we didn't have a pick until the 3rd after the 1st, we couldn't get a good running back. Like Caleb Johnson didn't fall. I think that's what actually happened is like, well, we're gonna, we're not going to put all of our eggs in one basket and hope that one of these guys falls. And they got lucky.
Yeah. I mean, these are good backs last year. Again, I like pulling from last year just because it tells a little bit of the story, especially if you're dealing with the same players for the most part. They were 9th in forced missed tackles per rush. Jaylen Warren, quality back. And
he's a quality back.
Yeah. So like the run game, I think should be all right. It's going to be, it's going to be president, like, or it's going to be only as good as the offensive line can push it.
Yes, but I do think that, especially with Fontenot out there, I loved his run blocking. If he can transition to that right tackle role and bounce back from that injury, there's going to be a lot of success. And I do think Najee started overthinking more than he should. And I think Caleb Johnson is more of a no-nonsense back. So I think it should work better this year, even though we were already successful last.
So did you get your fill of... Okay.
I like Jaylen Warren. You literally know I ended up trying to trade up with you in our fantasy draft, in our dynasty draft, to get Jaylen Warren.
Was that was the same round I took Devin Neal, right?
Yes.
And then pissed off
really pissing Garrett
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I drafted Alvin Kamara. Why wouldn't I draft Devin Neal?
I just didn't think it was going to be that early. So that's why.
I had to.
Well, apparently, yeah, you were spot on in terms of where he would go. So, yeah, I was really happy with the fact I got Jaylen Warren and left it there.
All right. So
let's go to the defense.
The defense is a strength. We've talked about a lot with the defensive line, and we already know they're going to get after it. Last year, I think they were middle of the road, I said earlier in the video, defensive pressure
rate.
When it came to converting pressures to sacks, they were 20th. Mm-hmm. So that's a little interesting, but again, they forced a lot of bad passes. So that's kind of important. This is a very disciplined team when it came to finish in place. That's probably the best way to put it. They were first in missed tackles, as in they were the best team at not missing tackles. They had
very Steelers like.
Yeah, right. They had 69 missed tackles, by the way.
Nice.
But we're gonna see probably more Peyton Wilson, because I think a lot of the NFL said he was probably a 1-year player because one contract. Yeah, my bad. But because he's got no ACLs or something.
His knees are all garbo, but I would say take the 4 years of a player you really like, then rolling the dice for 4 years on maybe getting somebody you can get for 8. You don't.
No, we'll see. But I like the defense, man. The defense is going to be really good. I mean, Juan Thornhill, I think, is underrated. Deshaun Elliott is underrated. Darius Slay, we'll see. Whatever. Joey Porter's probably overdue for a bounce back year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not all on him.
Yeah, exactly. So, you tell me, what are your vibes? Is this defense gonna just continue to be great?
I mean, honestly, yeah. If you look at it, TJ got his money, which I think we could talk about that in a sec. You look at the defensive line. Cam Hayward, even if he takes a notable drop off, we still have the talent on the team to make up for it now, especially with the first round pick on the defensive interior. So you're not necessarily
with Hayward, a notable drop off is still an above average starter.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have to carry on the defensive interior, which is just beautiful. And again, we are multiple tiers deep at edge in case we do see some regression steps or injuries to happen. Even in the linebacking core, I mean, I know Patrick Queen's not a top 100 player, even though he was voted such, but he is an upgrade over what we've had. I know it's all BS. Peyton Wilson, I still think it was an amazing pickup, but you look at the secondary as well, and that's been our biggest weakness. Do I wish we had a better player than Juan Thornhill starting at safety, or at least competition there? Yes, but is Jaylen going to be having time there? I don't know. So I think this is the first time in a long time as a Steelers fan, I'm starting to feel really happy with our secondary because it's been ignored for way too long.
How do you feel about the corner depth?
Corey Trice, if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy.
Big asterisk. I like it. But James Pierre, dude, I mean.
It feels like he's been around for so long.
He's been on a hype train forever and just hasn't really been able to ride it through. It is a little bit of a concern. But we haven't been able to have legitimately top-end talent either at the cornerback position for a hot minute as well, outside of Joey Porter Jr., which we essentially drafted with the first-round pick. So it's good to see. I mean, even though I am certainly concerned with that, and guess what else is corner depth? Jalen Ramsey. There's that too. we're in the healthiest position corner wise that I've seen in a very notable amount of time. And that's such a breath of fresh air because I'm so tired of drafting corner for the Steelers in all my mock drafts and then just having it get kicked in the balls. Come draft time.
Yeah. I mean, I think you probably make a case they draft corner next year, but they also.
I agree. Yeah, especially with Slay and then Jalen having that vision for something bigger.
So what did you want to talk about with Watt's contract?
It's a big point of conversation. Talk about the guarantees. I initially really liked it for getting right. Like, so the guarantees, I'm not a huge fan of it. For some reason, I thought it was encapsulating the current year into it, and they were just basically doing a rework and making it 3 years, and essentially it's a 2.5. No, it's a 3.5 year extension labeled 4, but it's 3.5. It's expensive, but I think what people lose sight of is NFL doesn't work on logic. It doesn't. You might say, okay, well, this player is not the best in the NFL anymore, even if he could be a top 10 edge rusher in the NFL, which I think we all agree he is. Even when he's not the best, like people talk about a stat merchant that just shows.
People are going to argue that he is the best.
Right. And I don't think he's the best anymore, but he doesn't need to be. And he might end up producing like the best, given the fact that if you do see Derek Harmon take early strides to be really successful, there's going to be a lot of attention taken off of him, or other people are going to thrive. So he's going to be a big impact. And the drop off really happens when you hit, I think, 34. Like that's like the spot where you just don't see edge rushers really perform at a high level.
I mean, even that.
Right. I mean, even 50% TJ Watt is still worth keeping around, to be fair. But
and I mean, for what the Steelers are pushing for, you had to bring him back. It makes no sense not to bring him back or have some sort of turmoil going on in the offseason about him missing camp because he wants an extension. Like, no, you're in the Aaron Rodgers camp of like, okay, we brought him in, we have to win. Why don't you bring back your best defensive player?
Yep. So. And it's a situation where you have to. It doesn't make full logical sense, but you have to play. We're men. We don't understand emotion that well, but you just have to understand there is something beyond the strict X's and O's and the numbers on the bottom line that, like, I mean, you are given a salary or, a salary cap for a reason. You are able to use it. Even if this is not the best way to do it, there are ramifications for not keeping on your best player. It also sends a message that we take care of our best players. But something I will say, because you're talking about the pressure to sack ratio being, I think, 20th in the NFL, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the quarterbacks we face. Lamar, you're talking about Jalen at the end of the season. Mahomes, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he knows how to evade pressure.
Yeah.
You see Burrow all the time. You're asking, I mean, again, so do every other NFL team. So I'm not going to say like, oh, we're the only team that faced them, but there's some context there that shifts it. And we probably are adjusted 15th.
Yeah. And I was going to say, like, there's a reason why, like, your passing defense EPA was like top 10 last year. It's not because, Joey Porter was amazing last year, because that wasn't really the case. It was because this team was able to get pressure and force bad throws. Exactly.
So it ended up all working together, but I do think context did matter with that.
Oh, of course. I don't just, are you saying I just throw numbers out there?
Absolutely. This is why no one follows you.
All right. We're going to the sketty. We're finally at our last part of the video where we're going to take the look at the schedule.
I didn't know you hated it that much.
No, I mean, after that last line, what can I say? So we're going to come up with a ceiling and a floor. I like to start with the floor because I like to beat you down before I bring you back up. But let's take a look at the schedule, because obviously when you have to face Cincinnati and Baltimore and even Cleveland twice a year, it's going to take a toll. There's a reason why the AFC North has been widely renowned as like the best division in football. I think that might be shifting to the NFC North now.
Yeah, it's not as secure as it used to be.
Yeah. I think you can even make a case like low key AFC West is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
So
they're building up.
Yeah, but regardless, it's still one of the best divisions in football. With you're gonna, dude, freaking Aaron Rodgers' return to MetLife is just. I don't get why they didn't do that for the Packers game.
Yeah,
that would have been, dude. That would have been prime, man. And I mean, granted, they put together the schedule before the official Aaron Rodgers trade, but I mean, there was enough there where it's like, no, we should make this game in Lambeau. Like
they should have.
Yeah, is what it is. But like I said, you're going to be taking on the Jets. You're going to be taking on the Packers. You got a little bit of the NFC North in there, which I just talked about being one of the best divisions in football. So you got the Vikings, you got the Packers, you got the Lions at the end of the year. Like, dude, that stretch at the back end of the season sucks. Because, like, oh my God, like legitimately after the bye, okay, Cleveland, but Cleveland's still a tough team. But going to Cincinnati, then you're at home against the Packers and the Colts. So it's like, okay, that is what it is. But you go to SoFi for the Chargers.
Yep.
Bengals, but you get them at home.
But also they're coming off a bye.
Exactly. Good call there. You have Chicago, but then Bills, Ravens, Dolphins. Fins up, and it's in Pittsburgh, so you're probably going to win. Monday night too, great. My Dolphins get to lose Monday night. I love that. But then Detroit, golly, and I mean with how
Detroit,
yeah, where they're probably playing for that division and maybe the one seed. The one thing might be like, okay, you finish the year with Baltimore and you're at home, and maybe Baltimore already has either the division locked up or that one seed locked up. So that might be a positive there. Where do you see the floor of this team in terms of win total? I'm going to bring up what their current bet in.
I would say the floor is 7.
The floor is 7?
Yeah, because I have them at 9-8 currently. Yeah,
because I get it. It's Mike Tomlin, so it's like, oh, the floor should start at 9-8. But it's like...
Yeah. We squeeze games out. We don't play for the floor.
Yeah, at this point, it's like the Undertaker WrestleMania streak. We're at like 22-0. It's like, okay, that one's gotta come up. I don't even know how long the Undertaker streak was, but it's like, okay, that L's got to be coming up sometime. Right. I'm looking up Steelers current over and under. Win total.
But I do think the floor is 7 wins. I mean, again, if we do not get a weapon, it technically could be lower. But what?
It's 8.5. They're literally making you bet on. Do you think Mike Tomlin continues the streak or he doesn't? Yeah. I have their floor at I think it's 8 wins, just because. Okay, I'll bet against Mike Tomlin, but not much.
Yes, I think that's fair.
Because that is a tough end of the year stretch. It is the AFC North. So, and yeah, I mean, honestly, like okay, your first 3 weeks are kind of I don't want to say a joke, but the Jets.
Yeah.
You get the Seahawks, which Seahawks are kind of a hard team to gauge. Are they going to be good or not?
Came out red hot last year.
Yeah, exactly. And then, dude, you did with the Saints. Oh, golly. The Packers, I said Packers, Patriots. And then your home game against Minnesota, it's in Dublin.
Yep.
And Minnesota, they're kind of a wild card. JJ McCarthy, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
But that's a good team if you like. And this is what I was doing with Garrett. Like on paper, like, oh no, this is a very, very good squad. When it comes to like just position by position, if they stay healthy, and that early in the year, they're probably going to be healthy. So, okay, let's be optimistic. Let's say Aaron Rodgers is him. Not saying MVP, but he is not just a minor improvement over Mr. Unlimited, but a significant enough improvement.
Okay.
Where do you have that win total at then?
There is a world which they get 12.
That's where I had mine.
Yeah. Like, I was looking at the games that I would potentially flip, and it's like that one game versus the Bengals. Because I have the Bears.
Did y'all sweep? No, y'all lost at the end of the year to the Bengals, but y'all split, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's tough when you play them at home, and then they're coming off a bye, and they're going to be red hot. It's tough. But yeah, I mean, the Bears game, I ended up giving it to the Bears at Soldier Field. It's still Soldier Field, right?
Yeah, because they're working on a new stadium now, right?
Yeah. And then I ended up actually giving the Patriots an upset win. Just because
they did it to the Bengals in week 1 last year. But I mean, again, the Bengals don't start playing until September is over.
It's crazy, but so true. But yeah, I could see there's
someone on a tangent there real quick. I saw someone bring up the point. Burrow hasn't had a full off season until this year, or at least since his rookie year, which maybe you're just trying to explain the slow start.
Right.
So maybe this year, if fully healthy, the slow start doesn't happen.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I have them sweeping the Steelers. So in terms of this video, context here happens.
Yeah, but I think we're kind of in the same mind, same ballpark.
I mean, I was being extremely pessimistic with the 7. But
yeah. But I mean, I was at 8. That's not that big of a difference. And again, it's like, it has to happen at some point. And again, we're being pessimistic. This is the floor. So it's supposed to be lowish.
Right.
But you said you had them at 9 and 8 if you were going to settle on. That's kind of where I have them.
Yeah.
Which sounds kind of weird given, like, I think this schedule is maybe a little bit easier, a little bit kinder than it was last year. And they finished with 10 and 7.
Right.
But I think it's going to be very similar, where it was like, okay, you finished like hella bad at the end of the year. It was a tough schedule, but you started the year pretty easy.
Right. Justin
Fields winning games. I feel like it's probably going to mirror a little bit of that to some regard.
100%. I have him going on a 5-loss streak from week 10 to 14. So there's just stretches.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, Chargers, Bengals, Bears, Bills, and Ravens. Like, it's just
okay. I have them going 2 and 2 during that streak. Like, if I was gonna like if I was given like, okay, this is a firm prediction. What I think they're gonna do, not a kind of I don't know what you would call it, but like floor, ceiling.
Sure.
Like if you were asking me, okay, you have gun to the head. It's in my mouth. Are you going to pull the trigger? You have to settle on who wins this game. That I have them going 2 and 2 that stretch.
Fair enough. I
do have them finishing the year weak though.
I have them actually finishing pretty strong.
No, I decided to like just go back on
Ravens. Yeah.
Okay. I projected this is like I have them losing to the Bills, the Ravens, the Dolphins. That's right, fins up, baby, the Dolphins. Which that does in my head that doesn't make sense. I don't know if I could sell myself on that. Yeah, I'm literally flipping it right now. But I have y'all then losing to Detroit, Cleveland, and then beating Baltimore in the season finale, just because I think Baltimore is going to be done by then. So
yeah, I have us sweeping the Browns. I don't have too much faith in them. We first played them.
I mean, by the end of the year, who the hell knows what the Browns are going to be?
Precisely.
Yeah.
We kind of know what the Steelers are going to be, though. the same team, just probably less effective against the teams that got into their identity a little bit later.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think, where do I then want to give this squad a victory or a loss? I don't know. Maybe I just keep them at 10 and 7 and call it a day. Yeah, I just can't see the Dolphins winning that game. Yeah. I just can't.
Which means they'll probably win it. because that's how the NFL works.
No, man. We suck in cold conditions. We went to Green Bay last year. Yeah, we went to Green Bay last year and just crapped the bed. And I mean, Packers were a good team. They were just a hurt team for much of that season.
There's a chance that McDaniel is fired by then. If they just
dude, that's not a hot take. I literally think we're going to be super mid, and they're going to, I'm hoping I like our coaching staff.
Mm.
Our GM sucks. And I swear, if we fire the coaching staff and we don't remove Chris Greer, not worth it. Like, I'm sorry, Mike McDaniels, I love you, but if Chris Greer getting fired means we have to lose McDaniel, I'm okay with that.
Mm.
I'm not okay with us firing the coaching staff and keeping the GM. I'm just not.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah. Each one of these videos I've done, just because it's the Dolphins, it's my team, and I always find a way. I find a way to start talking about them. I remember with
we traded with y'all though.
I know. If anything, this is probably the most relevant.
Right.
Like I was talking with Marcus, and he was talking about how the Packers last year were good against bad teams, and I think only had like one win against playoff teams or similar, like close to being playoff teams, maybe win-in teams. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, just like Tua. And it totally like went over his head. And then I mentioned it, and then he was like, that's a good joke. And I was like, yeah.
That you missed.
Yeah, the people now won't know that you like the joke until literally if they stick around till the end of the video for a joke I made 15 minutes before. Marcus. I love Marcus. Man. He's great.
Guy. We love Marcus.
Yeah. But hey, dude, thank you for hopping on with me. Again, I guess I'm finding that the teams that have more active off seasons, these videos go a little bit longer. But it's me and you. We got into the draft. We like talking draft. That's our thing. I mean, we talked about draft for an hour for this upcoming class before we even recorded this video. So.
Oh, I know. We've been going for a couple hours at this point.
Yeah, so. Exactly. But hey, let the people know if they're still around where to find you. And by the metrics of these videos, most are. I will say that people sit around.
Well, we appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, if you guys really like content like this, I make draft content all the time. We mirror each other's content very well. If you guys like Mock the Mocks, like we like doing work together. This is what we do. We have very similar interests. But go follow me over at Hail Mary Sports, YouTube. There's an Instagram there as well if you want to see some more personal side, but particularly YouTube and X is where you can end up getting the best content. There's also a Patreon, but also I'm not going to pitch my Patreon on your show. So it's like focus on the X part. I know. I'm not here to pitch a moneymaker, but I would just say if you guys like all 22 clips, I post them on X, so you guys get to end up seeing some good context that maybe if you don't want to pay for it, you don't get to see.
Yeah, can't do it on YouTube. I already got hit twice.
I know.
Quarterbacks, running backs.
Garrett's telling me that I should do it and just take the hits.
No, I can't, man. I can't.
I was like, all right, Garrett. All right, pipe down. Yeah. Like, you want me to go homeless?
Garrett doesn't have a family to feed. Neither do you.
Garrett doesn't have rent.
To be young again.
I know. Even though I'm younger than him, but
yeah, that's wild.
That's why I have rent.
Yeah. I mean, I have a mortgage, so
it's true.
Is what it is.
It's a conversation we could have off camera.
Yeah, exactly. What are we doing? Yeah. As always, until next time, you be easy, our friends. Later.